96.7 The Beat, the A's, hip hop and R&B. I am Moran, the man, and we are tuned into another edition of the 404 Spotlight, brought to you by 20 Infinity. And I got another artist in the building, just been putting in a lot of work throughout the city and America. You know, he made an appearance on the soundtrack not too long ago. Introduce yourself to the people, let everybody know who you signed with, affiliated with, etc.
Hey, they call me Eearz, or Eearz to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Represent Eardrummer Records, Black America.
Mm-hmm.
All the way from the A, man.
For sure, man. Congratulations to you on all your success.
Appreciate that.
The first time I really got wind of you and your music, well, really you as an artist, was on the Creed 2 soundtrack.
Right, that's
and
right.
yeah, so I was like listening to the project, going through all the songs, like, who is this dude Eearz?
Mm-hmm.
And when I listened to you rap on the songs, you've clearly been doing this for a minute. This ain't new.
Appreciate that.
So how did you really get introduced to the music, bro?
Just music in general into my life, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about it, bro.
It's been forever. This ain't something that kind of was just like I was seeing, and it's like I always wanted to do music.
Right.
I knew that. I never knew how I was gonna get there, but I knew this was the shit I always wanted to do for real, like just
Dope.
purely. Like I used to tell my mother when she was living, like, man, this is what I want to do. She's like, man, put your mind to it, you can do it. Woo, woo. And then just as time progressed, man, really just life kind of just like pushed me even further into just my mind and just being able to translate that and put it out vocally.
Dope.
So yeah.
Are you 100% from Atlanta? Like you grew up here?
I was born in California.
Okay.
I was born in San Diego.
Hey,
man.
How long you been in the A?
Forever.
Hey, I can relate. I was born in Sacramento, so I can relate.
Forever. Like, I ain't never lived in California.
Same.
That shit, wow. Like,
Same.
I was born in a place I ain't never lived in, like, ever. Like,
Word.
never went to school there, nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The only time I ever been to San Diego was, like, I just got off a tour of YG.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like, my first time, like, pulling up to the hospital, like, where I was born at.
Wow.
Like, that was, like, crazy. Like,
Dope.
I'm in my 20s now, like. So, like, I finally just, like, went to, like, tapped in, like, where I guess my roots are, like, where I just cooked my first breaths at. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. But, man, my whole family's from South Georgia, like, Statesboro. They from the sticks, dirt roads. It's just impoverished. It's crazy down there. You know what I'm saying? My mama, she wanted a better life. Mom and pops, they came up to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Early, like late 90s, early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? As I got older, I wanted to go to school with my cousins. You know what I'm saying? They all on the south side, Riverdale, Jonesboro. So then my mom was like, nah, you ain't gonna do nothing but just fuck off and crash out or something. So then we went to the north side, Marietta. So now I was up in Marietta, and that's where I just kind of like cultivated, and like I started just like finding my little step in everything. And then I was just always back and forth like that. So I was always crossing through the city and just like back and forth, west side, east side, north side, south side. I really grew here.
Dope.
real.
Dope, man. So how did you and Mike Will, come together? How did he sign you? Like, did y'all know each other growing up? Because he's from Marietta as well.
Organics, man. Like, we went to the same school, actually, but I ain't know him.
Wow.
Like, on some shit, like, I knew who Mike Will was, like, Gucci, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just another day, and all that stuff going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that noise going on. Like, every time I seen Mike Will at school, like, he was leaving. Type shit, like, man, have a half a day at school, like, get out of school at 12 noon. You know what I'm saying? Like, fresh, just dipping. Like, every time I see him, I see his back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he dipping. And then I remember, like, I always had my mindset, like, I was still on my rap wave. I met this producer named Plus, and that's he's an eardrum producer as well. Now it's Mike's right-hand man, but at the time we were all just kids, you know what I'm saying? And Plus is somebody who I used to sit down with at the lunch tables and stuff, and he was like Mr. Miyagi for me. Like, we was banging on tables, beating on tables and shit.
Word.
And then with that, we was goddamn, like, it was just like repetition, man. He just had me like in the sweatshop, like in the gym with it. You know what I'm saying? And it just like sharpened my craft. As he was older than me too, so as time progressed, he graduated. I was still in school. I had went to different schools and stuff, so it was like we separated, and then time came back, and then he was always like checking on me, like, how you doing?
Word.
And at that time, like, I was in a whole different walk of life. Like, I was going through crazy shit, like in and out of jail, losing people dying. And I remember just being in a point in my life where I had to make like a transition. I remember I dropped everything, and then I knew I had to just drop everything.
Absolutely.
And then at the time, I was going to open mics. Like, I was doing these open mics. It's like we was living for open mics on the weekend. And I ain't had nowhere to stay, nowhere to sleep type shit. But I used to see Plus, and Plus used to be there all the time. He's like, man, I keep running into you, man. We got to get in the studio, man. And then I used to be hearing him, but it's like, shit, man, like, I got real life going on right now. So it's like, as soon as we leave here, it's like, shit, it's a whole world out here. Like, I got to think about where I'm finna sleep, everything, how I'm finna get up, get some money, everything. Like, so it was crazy. He gave me an address one day, and the address he had gave me happened to be like 7 minutes walking distance from where I was sleeping Pillar to Post at.
Word.
And then I was just like, I was like, what? Got up. I just walked there. It was a studio. called Up Some More. It's over by the Big Chicken in Marietta. And I used to be there every day. Like, I ain't had no money for studio time, nothing. Like, I used to be in there. The first time I went in there, he paid for the studio session. And then I would just go in and just belligerent, just blacking out on shit. Yeah. And then motherfuckers was just like, what the hell? And then it just like started a routine. Like, bro, like I get kicked, like they had to kick me out the studio. Like, bro, like I gotta shut it down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you running up the electricity. And I'd be crazy. Right back up there at 7 in the morning, like at their doorstep. And he, to the point where the owner used to be like, bro, you can't sit in front of my doorstep like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he gave me like the keys to his van. I used to be in his van in the back. He had like an abandoned van back there. Then all the way to the point he just started letting me like sleep in the yo. You know what I'm saying? Just like being more lenient with me.
Damn.
And then
sound like you really had some real humble beginnings on your journey, bro.
Yeah, man. Shit. For real. I ain't never gonna forget them. I love it all. Like, I embellish in life. The struggle is beauty and all of that. That's what makes the real and the pureness. You know what I'm saying? Of a real message. That's what I feel like. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm always like I want to get better. I want to be in a point in my life where it's just like it's beautiful, it's fruitful, but I feel like it is important to like always be going through things and learning through things. You know what I'm saying? Because it just makes you just wiser, smarter.
Where so some of the things that you experience, you know, trying to figure out where you go sleep, you feel like that was necessary.
No, for sure. I'd have been through a lot of hyper intensified things, like just my life period, just hyper intensity, and then now I've learned to like take that and it's become my art. You know.
How are you able to, you know, take the struggle and transition it into the industry?
Yeah, and harness it and like. It translates in the industry. It translates vocally and sonically with the music. It translates physically during performance. So you can just like see it. You can just feel the pain and through all aspects. And then when you see it visually and you hear it, it's actually beautiful. Like,
absolutely. You know
so it's
like when I was listening to some of the tracks that you're featured on Creed, you know, the theme of Creed was boxing. Yeah. And some of the tracks that you were like, you sounded like you were really trying to get some things off your chest.
Yeah, for sure. Just being free too, man. Just free spirit, just free expression. These songs were nothing forced. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really too hard to like think about. You know what I'm saying? Me and Mike just Killing with Success. That's me, Schoolboy, 2 Chainz. That song was just like, I made that song in the basement. You know what I'm saying? I knew what that song was. I knew what it was. I was like, I remember it was I was thinking about DJ Khaled. Like he be saying major keys. I'm like, man, this man be going in because it's like he got me programmed on that. But like I feel that's like a positive message.
Right.
And I'm like, man, what's a positive slogan that's like nobody's ever like coined the phrase for or like stamped and like held on to? And I was like, Killing with Success. I've heard that so many times, but it's like nobody's ever like really said it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I was just like in the basement, just that slap. They say they want that slap. And kill their ass with success. They won't like that. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Then I remember it was like, ooh, I was holding that shit, just playing it for myself. Then I called my brother, Tukey, like, man, hear this. And he was like, then I called the homies, man, come up. And then we all in the basement just turn. Yeah. Then it was like a baby, like, you know what I'm saying? Then I knew like the professionals, like my managers and stuff, like they gon' get it and they gon' think about it on a whole different way. Like Black America, Peanut and Winston, they gon' think about it on a whole different scale. Like, so then I knew like I wanted the message to be kind of just like clear. I wanted to make sure like the energy was right. So with my friends first, my peers, like niggas was like, oh yeah, this it. Understood. Then it was like, boom, let me take it upstairs real quick. Then they like, okay, bet. And then it just started kind of just like, it's snowball effect. Fight was just, it was
like who did y'all jump before y'all make that song, bro? Who did y'all beat up before y'all made Fight, bro? I heard that shit like, yo.
We jumped a good backwood. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We jumped a backwood. You feel me? Me and Mike, man, we jumped a backwood in the McDonald's parking lot. For real. He called me. And it was crazy because we did the first Creed soundtrack as well. I had a song on there, Work Your Muscle. That was like my first single coming out through Eardrummers. And I remember after the first Creed came out, I was just like thinking in my spirit and in my heart, I was like, man, I know they're gonna do a Creed too. Like this shit like Rocky. Like, and this is just me like throwing this into the universe. I'm not like saying this to anybody, no professionals or nothing. I'm just thinking this.
Right.
And then Mike just calls me one day and he just like, yo, man, the folks from Creed just called me, bro. Like, they want me to do the whole thing. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I need in. Then he like, man, of course. He like, where you at? Then he like, man, well, I'm about to scoop you up right now. Boom, I jump in the car with him. Then boom, I start rolling up, man. He like, bro, I got this idea, bro. And then we just in the car and we just chanting. And then we just like fight. He knew he had this beat in his head, and as soon as he played the beat, it was like retarded. And it's like the whole song on a voice note, like for real, like from like it's on a voice note. Like I knew like everything I said on the track is like I was saying that like we like rapping in the car, like me and him together, like give what my niggas did, right after they wrong or they right. Before you telling me Porsche, nigga, I'm going on site. Like that junk was just like pure energy. It was just pure. It was just fun, fire. And then as we brought it to like other artists, man, it just like it clicked. It clicked. Like they felt the same energy we felt as if we was like making it in the parking lot. Like you know what I'm saying? I played it for YG. YG like what? You know what I'm saying? Stupid vibe. Played it for Quavo. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing, man. That was just purely organics. You know what I'm saying? If I could describe that song, Fight, it's organic, man. For real. That's a sonic film.
Dope, man.
For sure.
Now, one thing that I've peeped for somebody who's so fresh in the industry, you're already in position to give back to the community. You've been giving back book bags. You've been going out doing these school drives. How does it feel for you to be able to give back to your community?
Man, that's like some of the best feelings, for real, for real. I can't even describe that because it's like so much further that we even want to go with that.
Word. Just
like the philanthropy aspects and just giving back and just like being just in the community. You know what I'm saying? That's like small things. Like it's just a blessing to be able to do something. You know what I'm saying? That was our 4th annual back to school drive and help. It wasn't just me, like you know what I'm saying. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people from my area who also put their hands in this. Inspired by Lewis, the folks at Blessed Up Barbershop, even the Cobb County Police, all them folks. Like you know what I'm saying. The whole community, like they put their hands into this and they supported it. Like you know what I'm saying. So I just salute my whole community, like what we building and like where it's gonna be at, and like certain time. Like I just love the journey. You know what I'm saying. So. Words can't really describe, man. I love doing that. I love being outside with it and like just connecting with the kids. Like the kids, like they never gonna forget that. Like that's who's like gonna keep me going when 10 years from now, when I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm 30, I'm 40 or something, like, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be like, man, I remember when, like, they might be like talking about like some greatest hits or whatever, they're gonna be like, oh, I remember the Holmes though, like this right here, he riding, like he goes stupid, like for real, like
that's real.
And he gave me a book bag back when I was goddamn 6 years old, bro. We was, you know what I'm saying, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, like, cause I remember when I ain't had those things or whatever, and like it just meant a lot, like, you know what I'm saying, so I fuck with that for sure.
Dope, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I live for that.
Necessary, definitely necessary. So we talked about the music that you've made with other artists appearing on soundtracks. You actually dropped an EP yourself not too long ago. So talk to us about your EP. Talk to us about your personal music. Talk to us about it, bro.
Missing Element. Missing Element, man.
Talk about that name, Missing Element. Like, what's the meaning behind that?
Missing Element. It was more organics, man. This project just in its whole embodiment, man. It took time. It took time, and I feel like over time, like I found out now that it doesn't matter how long it takes to like put out like something that you really like truly care about. That you need to put it out like the right way, your right way. So this project Missing Element has so many names before, like, you know what I'm saying. This is me learning myself, learning my whole foot, my step, and everything. This is years in the making. You know what I'm saying. And I could have dropped it 3 years ago, 2 years, whatever. Like, but it was just like, Then it was like, over time, the music's just building, the catalog's building, more experiences, more vibes, and everybody just like, this is my peers saying this to me, like, just like, man, bro, this is missing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just missing.
Necessary.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is missing. Like, this is something like I'm seeking for. Like, only time we can like really get this is like when I'm playing it, or like, you know what I'm saying? My peers, like, this is like real music that like really tapping into your insides, the shit that niggas be scared to kind of like even tap into or talk about. Everybody gonna kind of talk about like surface value and all that type of stuff, and it's like, that's cool, that's comforting for now, but it's like we gotta really tackle the problems, like talk about, like, you know what I'm saying. Better not go through bullshit for nothing and not be shit from here. It's mind control. You got this shit from here, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, you gotta, like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers gotta have them talks with themselves, like, you know what I'm saying, really hearing this stuff and reiterating and stuff like that. So like I be like more of like a driving force in the spirit to like really talk for the soul, like talk to the soul, talk to the spirit. I be saying shit that I need to hear, like, you know what I'm saying. So that's like where my whole mindset and ideology is with the whole music. Like, I remember Mike, he told me in the beginning, like when I dropped my first project, Artistry Volume 1, and then we was just gassed up on his back porch, and he was just like, bro, no champagne rap. And it wasn't like I was doing it. He was just like, we just chopping it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just for food for thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Note to self. And I remember I was just like, all right, bet. And then I remember just taking that, and then I was just like, just pushing, and I just always had that in my head, and it just helped me find my purpose, just like my step, my speech, like, you know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, what I'm standing for, you know what I'm saying, how I'm articulating myself, how I'm carrying myself. It's like college, man. Like Mike used to tell me this stuff, like, bro, I got kicked out of college, you know what I'm saying? So like, I really got like, this was like college for me. Like I've been like doing this like with ear drummers for like 4 years, and that's like college, like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You know what I'm saying? Freshman year was turned, you know what I'm saying? Turned party bullshit. And it's like sophomore year is like, all right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, I fucked my grades up. I did all this shit. Like shit. You know what I'm saying? You done blew some bags, all this stuff. Then it's like, all right, now it's like junior year. It's like I know my way around. I know these teachers and stuff. It's like now I'm trying to find myself. You go through that personal phase. Like in that junior year, you like, damn, like you missing your family. You want to go. You don't know if this what you want to do. Like what. Then it's like senior year. Okay, we here now. It's like senior project, missing element. Like you know what I'm saying. Now it's like I'm all the way on the podiums. Like you know what I'm saying. I'm ready to valedictorian and shit. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I done been walking through all these aisles with the professors. All right, let's get it. I done soaked up so much, and it's like time to just push it back out. Absolutely. So like that's just how I feel about it. Like missing element is just something that's just like it's tailor made for every individual. This doesn't just limit to just the streets. Like you know what I'm saying. I am ears to the streets. I can't never stop where I came from. And like as soon as I leave here, like I'm out there touching the people. You know what I'm saying. But it's like I done been it's deeper water. Like you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And like that shit matters too. That shit matters too. And like these are people that need to hear like certain things too, like for real. It's people that's going through way worse shit than we going through on it, that like for real. And that shit may sound cliche, but this shit real talk, like right now in real time while we talking. So it's just like it gotta be a cadence for that. It gotta be some type of somebody standing. Ain't nobody saying nothing about the shit. Like you know what I'm saying. So it's like that's where this whole shit is going. That's where Eearz is going with this shit.
I feel you. And for what I could tell, you know what I'm saying, the fact that, you know, you're so new as far as, you know, your time in the industry, the fact that you already know off rip, boom, like, I got to listen to people. I got to give back to my community.
No, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? Clearly, you're on your way to great things.
Appreciate that.
So what is next for you, man? Like, what's outside of this project, what's next for you? Got any tours coming up? Got any shows in the city?
We're going to hit the road, man. Got a live band.
Okay.
Experience going to be even liver, man. If you ain't never been to an Eearz show, you should check one out. And because they out of body. For sure, man. It's out of body. That's about the only phrase I got for it now. I ain't really going to say too much. You got to be there.
Dope.
For real. You got to. Man, we finna drop. Oh, yeah. I got some more coming, too, man.
Exclusives? Exclusives?
Yeah, we got some more coming, too, man. Some more visuals coming, too, man. Some more visuals from Missing Element. A lot of my fans, they've been beating up my Instagram and stuff, and they just been like, yo, man, I want this video, man. We got to see this. We got to see this. So I'm about to keep feeding you guys some more videos from Missing Element. The visuals is crazy, man. The directors I've been working with, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Producers on the next project, crazy. Yeah, it's finna get crazy. The momentum, we ain't stopping. We ain't letting up, man. Black America, eardrummers is here.
Man, you shouldn't. Don't let up. Don't let up. So, in closing, one thing that we always love to do, we always like to leave on just, you know, positive energy. So, for anybody out there who, you know, going through it, trying to figure out their path, their journey, what is some advice that Eearz can provide?
All I can say is you're okay.
Okay.
And don't look at my path or anybody else's path. Don't look at it and compare yours to that. Just keep following your steps. Keep trusting your heart. Keep following. You know what I'm saying? Do it in the righteous way though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And whatever that may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying be perfect and like no Jesus walks type stuff, like nothing like that. But I'm just saying, like, it's gonna save you a lot of trouble if you just keep it real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keep it G and keep it real with yourself, man. Stay pure, stay free, stay safe, stay alive. That's all I can say, man. Here's to the streets.
Absolutely, man. Well, I just want to say congratulations to you on all your success, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for pulling up, you know what I'm saying, being a guest on the show. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't heard the music, Missing Element, or the Creed soundtrack verses, take the time out your life to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Very necessary.
It's necessary.
Very necessary.
That Madden 20 just dropped. Yeah, we got
soundtrack.
Some on
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that junk going crazy. Oh, yeah. New project coming out, produced by some goddamn crazy ass folks. I can't even say the names. Yeah, I go by the name of Eearz, like the 20 side of your head, and nigga standing right here, man. I love y'all, man. Thank you so much. 96.7 The Beat.
Appreciate you. Put your IG, Twitter, all that out there before we wrap up, bro.
Hey, you can follow me everywhere at Eearz. 5 letters, all social media platforms, Eearz. That's Google, that's anything, man.
Oh, gee, man. I'm Moran the man. Eearz. 20 Infinity Cross Ear Drummers. 96.7 The Beat. We out.
Sir.